to the Marley Bird YouTube channel and Facebook Live. I'm your host, Marley Bird, and today's Facebook is brought to you by Red Heart Yarns, where I'm the proud national spokesperson. I am so thrilled you're able to join me here today as we talk about a brand new yarn on the market called Red Heart Sweet. And this is a fabulous yarn you're absolutely gonna love. It is a jumbo weight yarn. Some people might call it a bulky yarn. It's super thick. I mean, look, as it's resting on my finger, look how big that is. Oh my gosh. I am so happy with this yarn, you guys. It is incredibly soft and squishy. Look, you just want to squish it. And it comes in 8 different colors. Look, squish. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh, it's so lovely. So this yarn is fantastic. And as I said, it comes in 8 beautiful colors that are perfect for like home decor. They come in classic tones. So let me just show some of you let me show you the colors first, so that way you can see what they are and what I'm looking at. And hi everybody. I see your hearts going across. I love that. It's so awesome. So here's the first one. This is called Ivory. Obviously you can probably tell that because of the nice beautiful ivory color. And this one here is called Teal. Isn't that great? I want to mix these two together. Don't you think? I could totally pull something off with that. So I'm going to set those there. So that way I can do it. This is Rust. See the rust color? I like this color. It would go perfect in my living room. This color here, this is Mauve, and it's a beautiful, kind of a pale purpley color. Gosh, it's pretty. It's so pretty. It is very similar to other yarns that might be on the market. This is called Navy. This colorway is called Navy. You know what I think about when I feel this yarn? And I'm not saying it is Polar Tech, but it has that feel. Like it's just really squishy. Like you just want to wrap up in it. And I know it's available on redheart.com. Actually, I will try and put a link to that on this post for you, so that way you know exactly what you're looking for. This one here is called Bark. Look at this. I love these two together. Isn't that pretty? Could you imagine this? So these two. Not great. I guess not two. These 3. I love it. I love new yarn. I love when I get a chance to look at new yarn. It's so much fun. So this one here, this is gray. Beautiful gray color. Look at that. The gray and the ivory. I love it. Can you tell I kind of like the ivory? This one here, this is called Olive. Super beautiful. And then I'm back to the teal because remember I said I wanted to make myself something with these two. So this yarn, as I mentioned, it is so much fun. Yes, it is so squishy, and it would make a really great blanket out of it. I know that there are free patterns on the Red Heart website. I'm looking at my computer right now to kind of look up some of the patterns that they have available in this yarn. They have a chic and charming cowl, hat, a heavenly throw, which I have actually had the opportunity to feel and had wrapped around me when I was at the Red Heart home office, and it was lovely, totally lovely. And one I could absolutely make it, and it is knit. But this is not like yarn that is exclusive to just knit. I mean, no yarn is just knit or just crochet. You all know that. And so this is great. You just need a big hook, right? So I've pulled out a couple hooks. The recommended hook size on the ball band is a size P. So I know you guys probably have seen these hooks. These are some of my favorite larger hooks. I love these. There's the Crystallite hooks by Susan Bates. I love them. But then if you wanted to make it a little bit bigger and airier, you could totally go with like a P hook or an N hook. You could go bigger. As far as knitting goes, it calls for a size 17 knitting needle. You can see they're relatively big there. But then I also pulled out a couple other ones. Again, if you used bigger knitting needles with the yarn, you'll get a really great, more lace type look. So these are like size 19s, and these here are size US 35s. You see that? See how big they are? And I'm telling you, get yourself some of these needles, grab this yarn, and whip yourself up a knitted cowl or a scarf or something in no time. It is super fabulous. So fabulous. So all of you are leaving comments here, and I love that. So I want to answer some of your questions that you might have. And I know one of the questions you guys are going to ask me is, how big is the yarn? Like, what's the size of the yarn? And I'm going by the Craft Yarn Council designation of what they say, the different sizes of yarns. They have yarn recommendation sizes for they recommend different sizes for different yarns, okay? So this is a Craft Yarn Council size 7, which is a bulky yarn, so it's super bulky. Once again, you can see just as I pull it out right here. Shoot, you could finger knit with this. I mean, how easy. Super great. This would be lovely to teach people with, don't you think? Like, teach people how to knit or crochet with it. I think it'd be great. So a question is, how many balls for a cowl on 35s? Ooh, that's a very good question. So this has a total of, let's see, how many... I'm always checking the ball band to make sure I give you the correct information. And this has 89 yards to it. So my guess is that you could get a nice size cowl with 1 ball and the size 35s. That would be my absolute guess. I haven't done it yet, but that would be my guess. I think it would just take 1 ball. So you could have a chance to just really play around with this. But I mean, it would just be so much fun to play with. So much fun to play with. So as I mentioned, it has 89 yards in 1 ball of yarn. And it is a size 7. It requires, or the suggested needle size, and I always like to say suggested, is a size 17 knitting needle and a size P crochet hook. Super fun, right? So let's see what other questions you guys might have. Super 7 is jumbo. Yes, it is, Jennifer Purdy. What's the best way to join the yarn end? So when I'm doing something with this kind of yarn, I join my yarn just like do anything else, and where I typically will, you know, if I'm crocheting, I will join my new ball of or yarn or my new color, whatever it is, mid-stitch on the last stitch that I want to have be the old color or the new ball of yarn. And then when I'm all done, I always take my ends and I weave them in later. Those of you who follow along on the YouTube channel know that I am a big stickler for weaving in my ends. I am not a fan of just crocheting over top of my ends, because this is why. I'm going to tell everybody why right now. I have had too many gifts given to me that were crocheted, beautiful, beautiful crocheted stuff. And they're beautiful until I washed them. And then it didn't matter how much they thought the ends were secured after they crocheted over them. They all started popping out and my kids started pulling on them. And so I just thought it was such a shame to have these beautiful projects made for me and then they don't tend to last the test of time because of the ends not being woven in properly. So I like to make sure that I weave in my ends and going through. Now something that you could do is so this yarn, can you see here? It is on some string right here. So it's fuzz on the string. So if you wanted to, you could like take off some of the fuzz. And you could take these ends and use a sewing needle, not just a bent tip tapestry needle, but a sewing needle, and take these and weave them in a little bit, and you would actually split the threads of the yarn. Now that is a lot more labor intensive than I think you have to do, but it's something you definitely could do. So do you guys see how that works? So the way this yarn is constructed is the fiber is wrapped around like this core of yarn right there. And so if I pull, and this is where I had cut, if I pull, I can pull off the actual fibers. So then I'm left with this string here that I could take my sewing needle to and weave in through all of these different pieces of fiber there. So that's one way you could totally weave that in. It's up to you. I think that there are lots of options there for you. Let's see, Annie, I made a beautiful granny square blanket by crocheting over my ends and weaving them in, but it fell apart. Weave in. Yes, see, I'm telling you guys, I've had some people tell me that, I'm sorry, I have an itch on my nose. I've had some people tell me that I am irrational by saying that I'm completely against crocheting over your ends, but you know what? It's happened too many times. Even if you're doing like an adjustable ring and you crochet in the center of your adjustable ring, you pull it closed, you know, and then you might take your adjustable ring and the tail and you go to weave it in, right? So what do? You go around those stitches that are in that adjustable ring. You just go around and around and around. You don't ever do anything else. You just go in the circle, right? Then you wash it, and what happens? That adjustable ring begins to open. Why does it do that? You're like, well, Marley, I wove in those ends. What do you mean? Why is it opening? It's opening because when you took your adjustable tail and wove it in just like this, you just went in a gigantic circle. So of course that tail is going to generally begin to unravel and come loose. when you weave in something, you have to make sure you go in. I like to think of it as like snake-like. You want to make sure it goes in and around itself. So it has quite a ways to go to travel before it can get out. You'll often see that sometimes I like to actually take my tapestry needle or my sharp chenille needle, and I will take my tails and actually go through the actual yarn. Like I will take the yarn and I'll go back and work back on itself, sort of like a Russian join, to make sure that those connections are nice and tight. So there's lots of different ways you can do that. The fact here is, or the point here is, whether you're knitting or crocheting, you're taking all that time to make something, so take the extra time to actually do the finishing work, don't you think? I think so. All right, so let's see here what else people said. Let's see, is this more velvety than some of the others? You know what? It has been my experience. It is much, I think it's more squishy. You know what I mean? It's less, I've had some other yarns that are similar to this, and they're a little bit more flat and not nearly as rounded. This one is very rounded. It's a very round fiber. Can you see that? And it's a very rounded stitch. So when I was working with it, it felt really cool. And it literally just, I keep saying squishy, but it's just squishy. And it's lovely. It's a very rounded fiber. Tammy, Russian join. Yes, I actually have a video on how to do a Russian join on the YouTube channel. You can go check it out. I'll make sure I leave a comment about that with the link. But a Russian join essentially is where you work back into yarn to make a connection. That's the really like quick explanation. There's a longer explanation, and I do that in the video. Let's see, I always weave in the ends 3 different ways. So far, I haven't had any issues. Perfect. That's exactly what I want, Jolene. That's what I do too. I think that's the way to do, because the last thing you want is a gift to fall apart. That's what Jolene said. I completely agree with you. So let's see. Nicole says, I crochet over my ends, but I don't cut off the tail. When I'm done with my project, I fasten off and weave them in a few times. So see, so you just kind of do double duty there. So which is totally fine. You could crochet over them and then weave in your ends later. That's fine. You're still doing the whole weaving in your ends thing. So yeah, that's good. I feel bad. This is like going into weaving your ends instead of the yarn. Let's talk a little bit more about this yarn. What kind of projects would you guys make with this kind of yarn? Like I could absolutely see even a corner to corner blanket, or I could, which I love. You guys know I love those. Those are a lot of fun. And let's see here. Do you have a sample of what you're knitting? I can't show you yet, Christy. Oh, that's so sad. I'm working on something for a design, so I'm not allowed to show stuff for design. I should have thought through that before I got on here, but you know, you just kind of jump on and you think about all these great things later, but this is a lot of fun. So I think, as I said, a corner to corner blanket, a really great cowl. Annie suggests a super scarf. Totally. I mean, seriously, you'd get this done in no time. I think a super scarf would be great. Chris is suggesting slippers or even a bathrobe. Hey, go for it. If you have the ambition to make something as big as a bathrobe, I think you could totally do that. Even like a bath rug would probably be really cool. It's like just squishy as you get out of the tub. Step on something squishy. Let's see, that yarn looks warm and toasty. There are so many good garments to make. Yes, there are. Very good garments. Let's see, my husband has been begging for a big old Afghan for the sofa. Stephanie, this is it. I don't know if you're a knitter or crocheter, Stephanie, but the Heavenly Throw is a free pattern on redheart.com. It uses this yarn, and I think that would be perfect for you. It is a knit throw, so I think that would be super great. Tammy is asking, would hand warmers be too bulky? You know what? I think it all depends on your sense of how bulky you want the hand warmers to be. So for me, I think they'd be a little bit big because I like to have my hand warmers a little bit thinner, but I don't think it's impossible. What about like a muff, like a hand muff where, you know, it's a circle and you could put your hands in it? I think something like that would be really cool. Even for like a little kid, I think that'd be cool. Ellen is saying a giant octopus, almost a pillow pattern. That was left-handed crocheter, I think. So a big octopus, like a big amigurumi piece would be really cool in this. I absolutely agree. Nicole said I was thinking of a bath mat. See, great minds think alike. I think there are so many possibilities with this yarn, which is great. And the other thing is, as we're coming up to the holidays, the holiday season, our time is precious, right? We don't have a whole lot of time to work on a bunch of different things. So this is going to work up fast. It's going to work up beautifully. And like, it just feels so good. It feels so good. Mary is suggesting a big floor pillow. I think that would be really awesome. Could you squish, squish, squish? I think it's awesome. So great. Let's see. Somebody else had a comment up here about a suggestion. Let's see. Kelly says, my husband is 6'6", and that would be easy to hook up a blanket for him, and it would not take 12 years to make. Precisely. It would be super fast. You could do some really fun things with this. You could do like maybe even gigantic shells going across the row, or maybe you do big granny square motifs, and then maybe join them together with sewing thread. I mean, I don't know. I'm literally just thinking off the top of my head. You can do all sorts of fun things with this yarn. It doesn't have to be something you know, just real basic. You could, you know, have fun with it. Let's see, Rebecca. Oh, is there a pattern there's a pattern she has that she's been sitting on for years. It's with a big squishy sweater that is fashionable. Yeah, totally. I mean, absolutely. And there's so many different colors here you could use for a big squishy sweater. I love this one, this mauve color. This is really beautiful color. I used similar yarns a few years ago to make an elephant. That's a cool idea. And we have the really pretty gray color to make an elephant, so that would be perfect. Let's see, Elizabeth. Do you think it's better for knit or crochet? Elizabeth, I think it's good for either one. It all depends on the look you're going for. If you're looking for something less bulky, because obviously it's already a jumbo weight yarn, so it's a big bulky yarn, and as you're crocheting with it, you all know how crochet goes. It's you know, you're putting loops with loops, sort of knots with knots, and you're finishing off your stitches as you go, so they tend to be a little bit thicker. Whereas if you were just doing stockinette stitch with this, it's not going to be nearly as thick. So if you're looking for something that is, you know, maybe nice and smooth and not as thick, then you want to go with knitting. If you're looking for something that's going to be, you know, really cute and trendy and big and chunky and, you know, really, actually the perfect word is fashionable. Crochet is the perfect craft to work with this yarn. So either one works with this perfectly. You know, somebody else is mentioning slippers. It's kind of funny. I have a slipper pattern that I did, and I made it out of some old yarn, so it does not even exist anymore, but it was something really similar to this that I made for slippers, and my daughter loved them. So the other day when I opened this package, she came down and she started feeling it. She goes, Mom, would you make me some new slippers? And so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work up a new pair of slippers for her and give them to her, because I think she'd really love them, and it'll be perfect because she can dust my wood floors as she's going around wearing them, right? These are the jokes. Carmi says, what about a throw? Absolutely. You could absolutely make a throw. You could knit a throw. You could crochet a throw. I think, as I mentioned earlier, even a corner to corner, think of how fast that would be. I mean, the squares of the corner to corner that you make, they would be like 3 or 4 inches wide. Not that big. Not that big. They'd be like 2-3 inches wide. Like, it would be no time. It would take no time at all to work up with this. Molly says she thinks it'd be great for loom knitting. Absolutely. That is a great choice. I think that kind of goes back with my whole idea of using this to teach knitting or crochet, because it's nice, a big yarn, and it's a smooth yarn, and it's one people could play around with. But I know a lot of people who are not full-on knitters yet, or maybe they just don't enjoy knitting and they don't enjoy crochet, but they like the loom knitting. This would be a really good choice for them to venture into and play around with. Absolutely. I think it would be great. Let's see. Rachel says she loves my necklace. Thank you. Isn't that great? I think it's perfect for a red heart, right? Because it's a big, really pretty heart. It's one of my favorites. My husband bought it for me, actually, so it's pretty cool. So there you have it, you guys. This is the new yarn. It's called Sweet. It's really awesome. It's a super rounded yarn, super big, really beautiful colors. I think you'll love working stitches up with it. Somebody's suggesting broomstick lace. Absolutely. Or even hairpin lace would be really pretty with it. You could get something really cool going on with this. I mean, the options are endless. So don't be afraid of big and bulky yarn, especially this time of year when our time is so precious to us and we're trying to get through projects, but you want to make things that are quality and fashionable and chic and trendy and just beautiful. This is a great yarn to pick up. I know you can pick it up at redheart.com, and just so you know, Red Heart is always having different sales and deals, so you definitely want to sign up for the newsletter so that you are up to date whenever one of those is released, so that you can be on the ball and get that yarn, because I know there are so many of us around the country or around the world that don't live close to stores sometimes, and the online market is the only thing for you. So it is available out there. But if you can go to Joann's, I mean, then you get to squish it and feel it and snuggle up with it and fill your basket with it and do all sorts of things. And I know you're just gonna love it. It's so much fun. I love it. I love it a lot. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me over here today, and I hope that you will come back here for more. Make sure you subscribe to the Marley Bird YouTube page or the Marley Bird Facebook page, and you'll be up to date whenever there's a new Facebook Live that goes live. You'll know when Marley goes live. You never know what's happening over here. I'd love to have you stick around. I will talk to you guys later. I'm Marley Bird, proud spokesperson for Red Heart Yarns. Bye! Looking for more Marley Bird? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Click right down there and you will find more videos just like this teaching you how to knit or crochet, all brought to you by Red Heart Yarns. Go ahead, click away. Don't be shy. Don't forget to smash that like button.